Private investigator Raven Black thought she was looking for missing people until she found them. Her green eyes filled with horror when she discovered they were being kept alive as someone's collection. The case started like many others, a desperate family searching for their missing daughter. 22-year-old Emma Rodriguez had vanished from a shopping mall parking lot 3 weeks earlier, leaving behind only her purse and car keys. The police say there's no evidence of foul play, Emma's mother sobbed in Raven's office. But Emma would never just disappear. She had a job interview the next morning, plans with friends. Someone took her. Raven Black's emerald green eyes studied the case file with professional interest. Emma was the third young woman to vanish from the same area in 6 months. All were attractive. All disappeared without witnesses, and all left behind lives they wouldn't willingly abandon. "I'll find her," Raven promised, not knowing she was about to uncover the most horrifying crime of her career. The investigation led to a pattern that made Raven's blood run cold. Using surveillance footage and witness interviews, Raven traced the disappearances to a man named Dr. Harold Vance, a wealthy retired surgeon with no criminal history. He appeared at each location shortly before the women vanished, but never close enough to be considered a suspect. Vance lived in an isolated mansion outside the city, surrounded by high walls and security cameras. Public records showed he was a collector of rare artifacts, with insurance claims for valuable art and antiques worth millions. What if he's not collecting objects anymore? Raven whispered to herself as she surveilled his property from her car. The breakthrough came when Raven witnessed Vance's weekly shopping trip. The elderly man visited specific stores with a disturbing purpose, purchasing women's clothing in different sizes, cosmetics in various shades, and enough food to feed far more people than lived in his mansion. Infiltrating Vance's property revealed a nightmare beyond imagination. Using her lock-picking skills and surveillance expertise, Raven gained access to Vance's basement through a hidden entrance. What she found in the underground chambers shattered her understanding of human evil. The basement had been converted into a series of glass-walled rooms, each containing a living person. 23 women and men of various ages were kept in climate-controlled cells, each labeled with a number and detailed description of their physical characteristics. Blonde number 4, blue eyes, 5 feet 6 inches, age 24. Brunette number 7, green eyes, 5 feet 4 inches, age 22 inches. Redhead number 2, brown eyes, 5 feet 8 inches, age 26 inches. The victims were alive but clearly traumatized, kept in pristine condition like museum exhibits. They wore matching white clothing and appeared well-fed, but psychologically broken. Most sat motionless, staring at nothing with empty eyes that had given up hope of rescue. Emma Rodriguez was there, labeled as brunette number 8. She looked up when Raven approached her cell, tears streaming down her face as she whispered, "Are you real? Please tell me you're real." The scope of Vance's collection revealed years of systematic kidnapping. As Raven documented the horror, she discovered that Vance had been collecting people for over 5 years. His victims ranged from teenagers to adults in their 30s, all chosen for specific physical characteristics that appealed to his twisted aesthetic. The cells were equipped with basic necessities but no privacy or dignity. Victims were observed constantly through cameras, their every movement monitored and recorded. Vance treated them like living art pieces, admiring their beauty while destroying their humanity. A logbook found in Vance's office detailed his acquisition methods and collection management. He studied his targets for weeks, learning their routines before abducting them with surgical precision. The elderly surgeon used his medical knowledge to keep victims alive and healthy while ensuring they remained psychologically compliant through drugs and psychological manipulation. Specimen number 15, showing signs of depression, adjusting medication to improve display quality, one entry read with clinical detachment. The confrontation came when Vance discovered Raven in his collection chamber. "You're not supposed to be here," Vance said calmly as he appeared behind Raven, holding a tranquilizer gun. "Though I must say, you would make an excellent addition to my collection." Black hair, green eyes. I don't have anyone quite like you. These are human beings, Raven said, her voice shaking with rage and horror. You're torturing innocent people. I'm preserving beauty, Vance corrected, his voice filled with the conviction of a true believer. These specimens would age, become ugly, die forgotten. In my collection, they remain perfect forever. The realization that Vance viewed his victims as objects rather than people made his crimes even more chilling. He wasn't killing them. He was stealing their lives and keeping them as living trophies. The rescue operation required careful planning to save all victims. When Vance raised the tranquilizer gun, Raven realized she was about to become specimen number 24 in his human collection. She used her knowledge of the basement layout to evade capture while secretly calling police with her location. The ensuing standoff lasted hours, with SWAT teams surrounding the mansion, while Vance threatened to kill his entire collection rather than lose them to rescue. His psychological break revealed the depth of his delusion. He genuinely believed he was protecting the victims by keeping them imprisoned. They belong to me, Vance screamed as police breached his basement. I saved them from ordinary lives. I made them special. The rescue of 23 living victims made headlines worldwide, but the psychological damage was extensive. Years of imprisonment and dehumanization left survivors requiring intensive therapy and rehabilitation. The aftermath revealed the true cost of treating humans as collectible objects. Dr. Harold Vance was sentenced to life in prison, but the damage to his victims was irreversible. Some survivors struggled to readjust to freedom after years of living as display pieces. Others suffered from severe PTSD and survivor's guilt. Emma Rodriguez eventually recovered enough to thank Raven personally, but the young woman's eyes never fully lost the haunted look of someone who had been reduced to a catalog number. The investigation revealed that Vance had been planning to expand his collection with detailed files on dozens of potential targets, including Raven herself. His obsession with human beauty had transformed into a pathological need to possess and preserve what he found attractive. Raven Black, the emerald-eyed private investigator who had seen the darkest sides of human nature, learned that some criminals don't just steal lives. They steal the essence of what makes victims human, reducing people to objects for their own twisted satisfaction. The case changed how Raven viewed missing persons investigations forever. She had rescued 23 people from a living nightmare, but the knowledge that such evil could hide behind wealth and respectability would haunt her for years to come. Raven Black's discovery of the human collector reminds us that the most dangerous predators are those who steal not just lives, but humanity itself. Her story shows us that evil can hide behind respectability and wealth while reducing human beings to objects. If Raven Black's rescue mission shocked you, subscribe to The Dark Truth for more survival stories and criminal investigations. Hit like if you believe every missing person deserves to be found. Tell us in the comments, how can we protect ourselves from predators who view humans as collectibles? Share Raven's story with someone who needs to remember that every person has inherent worth beyond their appearance. Until next time, remember that true monsters don't always kill. Sometimes they steal everything that makes us human while keeping us alive to suffer.